Hello, I'm Steve Hughes, Data and Wheels founder. Today on Fabric 5, we're going to discuss capacities in Fabric and why you should care. Fabric capacities. When you start thinking about fabric capacity, most people keep in mind that, hey, fabric capacity is what I pay for, whether I pay for it as a Power BI premium capacity or I pay for it as a pay-as-you-go capacity with Fabric in Azure, or maybe I'll get a reserved instance when that becomes available. But it's focused around the money. When we think about capacity, we're thinking about what we buy from Microsoft to give us the compute capacity or fabric units that allow us to do work as well as pay for the storage to allow us to continue to use a software as a service environment for the purposes of our data warehousing solutions or data analytics solutions. So why should we care about capacity otherwise? Well, one of the architectural concepts that you need to keep in mind around capacity that does not show up in the link as you see up there for the API to access your OneLake data. Capacity not only defines the amount of money or amount of compute and storage you have available to you that you can assign to various workspaces. More importantly, in the world today, capacity defines regionality. So what does that mean for those of us who work in multi-regional solutions or have specific regionality requirements around our data? If you operate in the EU or operate in the US, and you may have to actually keep your data in one of those two locations, you now have to consider capacity as a key part of your overall Fabric architecture. The gotcha to this is one, Fabric capacity is not mentioned in the API. If you look at the API that is available in the screenshot here, you can see that we have workspaces, items, path, file name, and nothing about the capacity. We go directly from OneLake to workspace because that's typically all we actually work in or need to worry about. That works, except for this scenario where you need to handle regional specific requirements around data storage. The Fabric capacity defines where your data will be stored. When you assign a capacity, you pick the Azure region that you would like to have your capacity in, and therefore have the opportunity to pick the regionality associated to your data and the storage that you use. From a compliance and potentially legal ramifications, you will need to basically understand this, and furthermore, likely need to build out a naming convention in your workspaces that actually specify regional workspaces if that information is required. So if you are required to make sure that you properly put a workspace in the right region, you will need to make sure you designate that workspace with some type of nomenclature or naming convention that says to the users that this workspace and its data is EU specific. Now, that being said, keep in mind that as workspaces, we can actually secure those. So we can use Azure Active Directory to go out and make sure that we have security groups assigned that also match the regional requirements of our team and our data. So you can marry these up at the workspace level, but it's really important from a compliance standpoint to be aware that capacity not only defines how much is spent and can help you actually manage your billing and those types of things, it also manages where your data is physically stored in the Azure ecosystem. You need to understand this, and you need to apply regionality as specific as you need it, because that is where your data will be, for each capacity that you have. It is not uncommon, nor will it be uncommon, to have multiple fabric capacities for a variety of workloads, but those capacities should also be figured out to handle regional storage. Hopefully this gave you one more thing to think about. Thanks for joining us for Fabric 5 today. If you like this session and would like to continue to follow us, like, share, or subscribe. We hope you learned something new today and have something new to think about in regards to fabric. Have a great day.